2026, we must leave Charizard behind. That is the philosophical question that every Monster Catcher RPG has to decide its response to. Are you responding to that question with a sense of disposability, that we should actually leave it behind? Or do you respond to it with a sense of connection, holding on to it, and that you end the game with your favorites? In Persona, you're encouraged to not get too attached to any of these. If it's not a monster attached to a playable character, you should be willing to fuse it, change it, release it, let it go because something more powerful is along the way, or you must fuse for something more powerful and more focusing on utility. And what's great about it is that this emphasizes a sense of strategy, consistently changing your strategy when the new dungeons are trying to get you to understand around gameplay and unique monster mechanics. This is not to say they never reward keeping a monster all the way to the end. Obviously, SMT3 has, I think, an entire route or a potential ending built on the fact if you keep the pixie all the way to the end, but they don't mean by keeping the same pixie, but as long as one of your final monsters is a result of a fusion that involved that pixie, you are set. But ultimately, you must dispose of it through fusion at the very least in order to have some real success in these. Pokemon is obviously different. The emphasis is on once you find your favorite, you can carry it all the way to the end. And the emphasis on strategy is either building a team around the weaknesses of your monster or figuring out unique strategies with your favorite monster. In my case, when I was a kid, I made sure I finished Ruby and Sapphire with a Pelipper because Pelipper is the cutest. Of these two broad styles, which does your favorite monster catcher follow? Does your favorite monster catcher not follow any of these approaches? And ultimately, which do you prefer? Do you prefer building a sense of attachment and carrying it all the way to the end? Or do you prefer always having to change and always find a new partner to rely on for maximum strategy in the end? My honest opinion is I prefer building an attachment because you can do specific things when you build an attachment with a monster throughout the entire game. I'm thinking about what happens in Dragon Quest V with Sabercat. Mild spoilers for a very old game in Dragon Quest V, but you meet Sabercat at the very beginning of your playthrough, and you come back as an adult and catch Sabercat in a different context later, and through fighting him, you ended up adding him to your team, and that's one of the first few monsters that you will have that's not a human character on your party. There's a sentimentality built in that only through the lapse of time and the sense of him going to be a part of your journey for the long haul and building that attachment can do. But that's my answer. Again, what's your answer?